Let's talk about that little, probably square or round machine that has so much power over you sitting in your bathroom where we know it shouldn't be. I'm talking about the scale. You step on the scale and it has the ability to brighten your day, at least for a few minutes. It also has the ability to completely ruin your day and make you feel like an absolute failure. In this show, I'm going to explain to you why this scale is lying to you and why it's the least accurate measure of success. If you're not sure who I am, my name is Drew Tadia, CEO and founder of True Farm Life. For the past 20 years, we've been helping women 40 plus increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So if you're interested in more details about why the scale is lying to you and how to improve your relationship with it, stick around. We got lots coming up. Okay, so let's dive in and talk about why it's so important to remove the power that scale has over you. As I mentioned, it has so much influence on your day, on your overall state of being. And it doesn't matter if it's good news or bad news initially, because let me explain why it's so minimal if it's good and how it's so extreme if it's not good. So you feel like you're working out, maybe you're putting in the effort in, maybe you are eating better. Or the caveat to that is sometimes I talk to women and they say the scale hasn't moved. And I say, have you been doing anything to help move it? They'll say no. They've been working out, they've been exercising, have been eating better. No, I just step on the scale and hope it goes down. And so we have two different types of people that are putting in some effort and not seeing results, and those that aren't really putting in much effort at all and are still hoping to see results. Either way, if that scale doesn't go down, it ruins your day. And if the scale does go down, think about this for a moment. If the scale goes down 1, 2, 3 or 4 pounds, you are excited for a moment. But think about how long that excitement lasts. Is it very minimal? Because I would venture to believe it's only a few minutes that you're excited that number went down. Great. Maybe you feel a little bit more confident. Maybe your spirit's uplifted. But the very next day, you step on that scale and it either stays the same or it goes up a pound or two. And the sky is falling and nothing's working. I'm not eating right, or the food that I'm eating is not doing it. I'm going to skip my workout because what's the point anyway? It's amazing how those numbers can control your entire outcome of your day, your situation, your being, of whether you're going to be in a good mood or a crummy mood. The biggest problem with the scale in particular is it only measures a number. And that tangible number that we're all looking for doesn't give us an overall or a holistic view of our progress, our results, or the very being that we're in. So consider that if you have extra water the day before, so you're more hydrated, the scale could go up. If it's that time of the month in particular, and you're more bloated, that scale could go up. You could have had a meal that was high in potassium, let's say, or your stores are storing more water for whatever reason. That's just one very small example. The scale doesn't measure if you're sleeping better. It doesn't measure if your hormones are more balanced. It doesn't measure your mood or confidence, which is such a big issue because I see ladies coming into our program and they are seeing incredible results. They're feeling better, their skin is brighter, they're happier, they're more positive, they use more, how can I say, uplifting words. They move from a negative state to a positive state. But then step on that scale and that scale may not move, or it may only move a little bit. Regardless, it doesn't meet their expectation. And all the positive results that's going on in their life is thrown out the window. So they feel all the little things like the breathing exercises to reduce cortisol levels, the meals that are giving them more energy, the less bloat that you could probably see in progress pictures that you're not going to see on the scale is going down. And the very root fundamentally of that scale is that we put so much emphasis on that number. We miss out on so many other positives in our life, which is why it can be so detrimental to our health. Daily weigh-ins is a trap, and let me explain why. I feel that if you're weighing yourself daily, that's an unhealthy relationship with your scale. As I mentioned earlier, there's so many things that can change or adjust that scale going up or going down. Consider your mood matching the weight on that scale. Your mood is up because the weight went down. Your mood is down because the weight went up. You are letting that relationship with the scale control everything about you and your day. So every time you step on that scale, you're giving your complete power to a number or to an electronic machine that you have no relationship with. It doesn't know the other aspects that I mentioned in the last that can be beneficial to your health. But most importantly, when you step on that scale, it controls everything. So we have to improve the relationship with that scale. If you're going to step on that scale and you can change your mindset and understand that is just data and it offers feedback of whether we're doing the right action steps that will give us the results we're hoping for, that's one aspect. And that is the mindset I like to work towards for the members and clients that we work with on a one-on-one basis. It's very important to change your relationship with the scale. If that scale controls everything, it's very difficult for someone else to come in there and help improve your situation, whatever that is. So once a day, in my opinion, is too much. There's too many variables changing that from day to day. I would consider once a week to once a month. Now, I consider once a week because that's a better gauge. It's more of a micro to give you a better idea of if that week went well in particular. But even good results is 1 pound a week. If you're losing 1 pound a week, you're on track. You're doing a very good job. In most cases, we come from the biggest loser world and we think we should be losing 5 to 10 pounds in a week. And if not, we're a failure. If you lose a single pound, that is really good progress. Most people gain a pound every week and don't know it. So there's two different avenues. Some people refuse to step on the scale because they're worried or scared about that number. And the other people are measuring too often every single day. Is the number going down? Is the number going down? So I want you to consider once a week for a longer gauge. That's the macro of you getting a better vision of what happened that week and if you're on track and if you need to change your action steps. If that relationship with that scale is still a challenge and it still ruins your week or prevents you from taking the proper action steps that have brought you success in other areas, I would consider more once a month. That doesn't seem enough in my opinion, but you still have to work on that relationship to improve it so it doesn't completely negate all the results and all the action steps that are bringing you the results. So consider how often you're weighing yourself and make an adjustment of when you think is more beneficial to you. Certainly, out the door is once a day. Once a week, maximum. Once a month, minimum. So if you're not using the scale to measure your success, what are you using? Let's talk about it. If we were to remove the scale completely, if there's no way for you to step on a scale, for you to use a scale, for you to learn if your weight is going up and down, what would we do? Within our program, called our Metabolism Accelerator program, we use 3 different forms. Scale is one of them, but in this segment, we're removing that. So you have measurements, actual measurements that you take throughout your body. So you can see the inches going down. That's the tangible measurement that a lot of people want to see from the scale. This is just a different angle that is more accurate in my opinion. The only caveat, I suppose, to that is often some people aren't really sure how to take their measurements, or they're taking it on different parts of their arm or leg, or they have their spouse doing it, or they have multiple people doing it. You want to remove as many variables as possible. It should be the same measuring tape, the same day of the week, the same time, every Sunday, first thing in the morning, same measuring tape, and you're doing it. You can actually get a measuring tape where you just push a button and it tightens. It's like a round kind of, that makes it much easier than the open one-handed trying to figure all that out on your own. That's number one. I would suggest making sure that you're measuring weekly is my suggestion. And the other one is progress pictures. Progress pictures are absolutely essential. Think about this for a moment. A lot of times people get embarrassed when they see pictures of themselves. And that you can use that embarrassment or that unhappiness as fuel for your fire. So if you look at progress pictures, or you see a picture of yourself at a friend's party or whatever you're doing, everyone's taking selfies these days. There's pictures of ourselves plastered all over social media. You can see yourself. So if you choose, you can use that as fuel. Oh my gosh, I look terrible in a bikini. Use that as motivation to get yourself in a proper routine. But consider this, a lot of times people don't like to see pictures, or they're not watching themselves, or they're not comparing themselves to themselves and not to other people. So if you have a progress picture and you put the next week or the next month next to it, you can actually see very clearly where your progress is happening. Of course, if you're eating better and working out. This goes back to the person on the scale that isn't doing anything and hoping the scale goes down. There'd be no point taking your progress pictures if you're not working towards improving your health or your body composition, right? So make sure you're taking action, of course, but my suggestion is that weekly, and if not weekly, at the very minimum monthly, you're taking your progress pictures. And I can't tell you how many times this has helped our clients. They'll look at the scale. Doesn't matter how much training or coaching, I'll say, don't use the scale. Move the scale aside. That's more for longer term results. They'll step on the scale and they'll message me and they say, hey, I've been working really hard, but the scale isn't going down. And I say, have you been taking progress pictures? Yeah, let's look at them. So we look at the progress picture and I say, oh my gosh, just consider the difference. Would you much rather have your weight stay the same and your inches going down, like your clothes are fitting better, you need a new belt, you need a new pant size? There's that option. Or your weight could go down and your clothes are actually getting bigger. Of course, that's not realistic. I'm just using an example. So weight goes down, yay, the weight's going down on the scale. But what if your clothes were fitting tighter? What if you have to buy bigger size of clothing? That wouldn't be very enjoyable, would it? But consider that you can maintain your weight and you could still lose inches and you could still get in smaller clothes. Maybe you were looking for that, whatever the next size down you're hoping for. That could be a goal you're working towards. And consider these are just tangible measurements that I'm suggesting because a lot of people want to see that number go down. Remember, there's so many other benefits because a lot of times people will come to us and they're terribly depressed or they're down or they don't have any confidence. And that changes in a very short amount of time. Once you start working with someone, you have an encouraging community, you're brighter, you're lighter, your eyes, you use different words. Like there's so much value in me sitting across from someone that is changing their whole aura from in a depressed state to a happy, bright, uplifted, that spreads that sunshine everywhere they go. So consider that. Consider that might be one of the goals that you're working towards about improving your mood and your overall being, as opposed to letting that scale take complete control of your life and decide your mood or decide your outcome or decide if your day is going to be happy or if it's going to be miserable. You got to improve the relationship with the scale. Hopefully that was helpful. Give you some insight on how we coach, how we teach. And if you know anyone in your life that is obsessed with the scale, that lets them control their mood on a daily basis if they're weighing themselves, share this with them. It could be beneficial. Make sure you hit the notification button so you know when the next video comes out. And it's super helpful for us if you subscribe to the channel. The more subscriptions certainly help us grow and reach more people, along with watch time. But I'll leave that with you. Hopefully our content is good enough for you to watch from the start to the end. Regardless, you can find more details about who we are and what we do at trueformlife.com. We also have a school community called Metabolism Reset Method. I'll drop that link below in case you'd like to join our community of over 1,000 women in your very same situation. Hope to see you there.